You're listening to the Thom Hartmann Program.
So we've been discussing on our radio program here for the last couple hours at some considerable length what's going on with, freezing taxes, and we've talked about the ongoing disaster in Haiti. We've talked about the ongoing war disaster in Afghanistan and Iraq, which, by the way, won't be subject to the freeze. There is a growing dissatisfaction on both the left and the right with the way things are going down in America. Which means, because the Democrats control the House, the Senate, and the White House, with the Democratic Party. And on the right, we're seeing the manifestation of that in the Tea Party phenomena, even though it was brought to us by corporate sponsors and billionaires out of Texas. The average Tea Partier has no idea of that, and there actually is a real populist rage out there on both sides. The left doesn't have billionaires, putting together $500,000 buses and driving them around the country. I don't know. We can hope. John O'Hara is with us. JohnMOhara.com, his website. He's the Assistant Director of Communications at the Heartland Institute, the conservative think tank that has been funded by a strange collection over the years, including Big Tobacco and Big Oil, and foundations therefrom. And he's a contributor to BigGovernment.com, author of a new book, A New American Tea Party, The Counter-Revolution Against Bailouts, Handouts, Reckless Spending, and More Taxes. John, welcome back to the program.
Hey, how are you?
I am fine. Your book and your position, your op-ed piece here, your book, by the way, forward by Michelle Malkin. Your book suggests that the Tea Party's, you point out, the Tea Party movement right now actually has higher favorability ratings than either the Democratic or Republican Party. Mm-hmm. And you characterize it as something that, is cohesive, coherent, and seems to be working quite well. I don't know if you saw the article in today's New York Times, Tea Party disputes take toll on convention. It seems to me that it's starting to come apart at the seams.
I did see the article. First I want to address your characterization of the movement and my organization. Actually, I think it's. I don't know that it's helpful to sort of attack organizations and not stick to the principles behind it. This movement got going with grassroots activists, not millionaires.
No, this movement got going with money from Dick Armey, who got his money from the Koch family, who are billionaires.
Tom. I can tell you I was there on day one. Dick Armey wasn't handing out money. Now, there are organizations, I know you're referring to Freedom Works.
Yes.
There are organizations on the left and the right. You mentioned that the left doesn't have billionaires handing out money for things. There are organizations on the left and the right that facilitate activism, but to characterize it as they started it is highly inaccurate. But either way, I think we can agree that it is a legitimate political force right now. I did see that article in the New York Times, and I think one of the interesting things about it, I don't know too much about the folks organizing it, which is why there is some skepticism.
This is the convention in Memphis, and they're saying this is a for-profit operation, and they're apparently paying Sarah Palin $120,000 to show up and speak, and they're selling tickets for $549 plus a $9.95 fee. It's like that always gets you with those concert tickets when you check out. Right.
Look.
So now we've got Tea Party Nation. We've got Tea Party. There's like 4 or 5 different groups that are trying to claim the mantle of Tea Party. Some of them are libertarians. Some of them are conservatives. Some of them are the gun or the oh my God, we've got a black president racist fringe. Some of them, I think a lot of them, and you're going to let me finish the sentence. I think you'll like what I'm going to say. I think the majority of people in the Tea Party movement are actually American populists. They're people who are just saying, I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore. My job went to China. My health insurance company jacked up my rates. My kid can't afford to go to school, and this isn't the way it was for my parents' generation. And what happened to my country?
Yeah, I think that a lot of those points are a fair characterization of it. And to that particular convention, look, this isn't a Democrat or Republican Party. There isn't this top-down structure. There are a lot of groups out there that are trying to fit into this in their own way. And this particular convention, folks said, we're going to get this thing together. We're going to get a well-known speaker that is certainly very popular amongst this movement and the kind of folks in this movement, and get Sarah Palin. And that's their way that they're trying to advance these principles.
I think they're just trying to make a buck. But if you make a buck and advance good principles at the same time, God bless you.
Right.
And that's what I think that they're doing. But here's the question that I have for you.
Really quick, Tom. What I want to say about that is that it's important to remember that no one individual, not Sarah Palin, not this one organization, speaks for this entire movement. It is very broad, and to your point earlier, it's a lot of Americans that are concerned with the direction of this country.
Well, and it seems that anybody who tries to control it ends up in a situation of looking like they're trying to herd cats, which is not unlike the Democratic Party. And that's why I think that, and do a reality check here with me, John O'Hara, of the Heartland Institute. It seems, and author of A New American Tea Party, it seems to me that left-right Democratic Republican politics are receding, as frankly I think that they did in the 1930s, and as they did in the 1850s, and as they did in the 1760s and 1770s. The last about every 80 years we seem to have a Great Depression, and it causes this kind of a change where left-right politics, Democrat Republican or Democrat Whig or Federalist Democrat, whatever, they recede and they get replaced by the politics of populists, average working people, versus the aristocrats or the economic royalists. They were called the aristocrats, and by the founding generation they were called the economic royalists by Franklin Roosevelt. And now, frankly, I think corporatist is the word that we could probably best describe.
Oh yeah.
And so you've got because you've got the banksters. You've got a couple of thousand people, just a couple of thousand people on Wall Street just walked away with $140 billion in bonuses. That's 1% of the GDP of the entire country. And that's enough to fuel a hell of a lot of outrage. And I'm encouraging my progressive listeners to show up at Tea Party events and find areas of common interest. I think that we are watching a populist explosion in this country, and I'm frankly concerned about what it might do to democracy.
I think there's a lot of frustration out there, and it cuts across party lines. I don't necessarily characterize it as populist. I think a lot of people are upset with that. I don't think it's not that people resent people on Wall Street making money. That's the American dream, to get out there and make money. But it's the idea that they're making money. You mentioned corporatism, that they're basically in cahoots with politicians on both sides of the aisle, sticking it to taxpayers, and people don't like that, or taking taxpayer money and then turning around and giving out bonuses. And well, I disagree with the very premise that they should have gotten the taxpayer money in the first place. But I think what you're seeing is Democrats, Republicans, Independents, Libertarians come together and say, look, it's not about parties, it's not about personalities, it's about principles, and these things aren't right, and it's affecting a lot of people. And a lot of these issues, we've been running a deficit for some time, but
the deficit is not causing unemployment. What's causing unemployment is 30 years of insane economic policy.
Well, the reason
mostly our trade policies.
My point being that it's very topical right now. The idea that the reason people are particularly outraged with government spending or with what's going with the things in Wall Street that you mentioned is because people are sitting at home saying, "Look, I'm tightening my belt right now." It's very much on people's minds.
Right. We need to roll back the Reagan tax cuts. Let's restore fiscal sanity. I agree with Dwight Eisenhower. I agree with Richard Nixon. Roll back the Reagan tax cut.
No, I think we disagree on what needs to be done. I think more.
You disagree with Eisenhower and Nixon on taxes.
I think we need more tax cuts. I think that
John.
I think, but look. We I think that as the American people,
you want to cut your pay. That's like cutting your own paycheck and calling that fiscal sanity.
No.
Okay, JohnMOhara.com, the website, and the Heartland Institute. John, thanks for being here with us.
Thanks, Rob.
Good talking with you.